Welcome to a different kind of archery podcast where we're all about the real stories, practical tips and the shared passion for this timeless sport. Join us for insightful conversations with archers, experts and enthusiasts from all walks of life. From hitting the golds to the pursuit of personal growth through archery, we've got it all. So get ready to knock your arrow and take aim at a world of archery knowledge. This is Unstrung Archery. Hello and welcome back to another thrilling episode of Unstrung Archery with me, Neil, and I'm joined as ever by our good friend Nye.
Hi everyone, and today we're also joined by Stef Probert of Beacon Archers, as today we are discussing flight archery. Now Steph here is a good friend of mine. We used to be club mates before she moved up to Beacon, and yeah, we're also both shoot for the Northern Archery Pro Team. And Steph has just recently broken a world record at the British National Flight Championships across the Elvington airfields. And so, Steph, welcome to the show, and perhaps you could start off by telling us a bit about yourself and how you got into distance archery, so both clout and flight archery.
Hiya. Right, what do you want to know about myself? I'm actually a para archer. I started archery after the 2016 Paralympic Games. I'd just broken my back, and it was a way of getting moving again. So I went and tried to get onto the para team, who then put me onto a compound bow. So I've been shooting compound bow mainly ever since. So I used to shoot just normal target archery, and basically what happened was, unfortunately, my partner died suddenly. So I ended up that I stayed in the house for, as you do, for a couple of weeks, and people were starting to get worried about me. So Martin, who runs Northern Archery, remembered that I'd had a clout training session, and there was a competition about 10 miles away from here. So he basically said, come on, it's a safe environment, come and shoot with us. So off I trotted. Nobody knew who I was, and I was able to just go out and shoot and have a nice day without thinking about everything that was happening in my life. So that's how I got into clout. So that went on. The next year I did 2 competitions, and now I seem to be doing them every flipping weekend. It's expensive on paper.
You're not just competing at clout, you're also having some good results there, never mind at flight as well.
Yeah, the weekend I came second in the national clout championships. I was really chuffed with that. I got a British record, and myself and Emma Emma Mooney, we've been pushing each other all year. And Emma got the crown this weekend just gone. And I came in second, so I was really chuffed with that. Flight, well, what happened was I had a spare weekend a couple of years ago, it was about 3 years ago, and Alison Hunter from Beacon Archers, she says, oh, come and have a go at this. You don't have to do anything special. Just come and have a go, lob some arrows as far as you can. And I was like, well, that sounds like a good laugh. So we went up to the Cumbria Championships, and I sort of sat there and didn't have a clue what I was doing. I got told, take everything off your bow, so take your sights off, take your stabilizers off, basically just strip your bow down, take all the dampers off, and shoot an arrow. So you shot 6 arrows. You got 15 minutes to shoot 6 arrows, which sounds like an awfully long time, but yeah, that's different when you start doing it seriously. So you shoot 6 arrows, and then you got 3/4 of an hour to go find them. So we did that, and off I went on my little scooter. Who anybody who knows us knows the scooter probably better than me. So went and found my arrow, and it was about a metre off the Cumbrian record. So I thought, yeah, I could probably get a Cumbrian record doing this. So I decided to get involved and get interested in it and try and find out more about it. And that took me on. But a lot of people at clout shoot it as well. So had some good discussions about it.
And it was all downhill from there, eh?
My head aches now with all the things I know.
Yeah. Oh, and so I suppose with flight archery, it's quite different from both. Obviously, clout's different from target, but again, flight is different from clout as well because obviously, clout archery is about precision over distance and long
Yeah.
distances as well. However, how would you say flight differs from the precision of needed for clout?
You still need to aim, which is the most important thing,
Yeah.
really. The difference is that basically my clout arrows weigh at least 3 times heavier than my flight arrows. At clout, we also use sights, which we don't use in flight. So at clout, we're aiming at, I would be aiming at 140 yards or 165 meters on my compound bow. And what we do is we aim at a flag and we try and get the arrow as close as possible to the flag. So basically, we have a target on the floor, so a circle. And what you try and do is, as you would do with target, is hit the middle of the target, which is the flag. Ideally, what we try and do as compounders is smash the flag to pieces, which happened at this weekend, and my other half was awarded the flag. So yeah, that's what we try to do. And the aim of the game is to hit that flag. But yeah, it's good fun, but it is very technical as well. And I don't think people realise how technical it can be, because although we have weather in target, we have totally different concept to weather in clout. And basically, most of it is down to knowing how to control your equipment while shooting in different weather conditions.
And then, yeah, and obviously the arrows will be flying at a much higher trajectory in distance archery. And so now we know with clout, it involves that quite a large amount of precision to be able to control your arrow to land in an exact spot at 165 meters. So with flight, what would be the aim of the game here for flight now?
The aim of the game with flight is to get an arrow as far as is humanly possible using a bow. And there is, I can't remember how many categories there are. There's probably about 7 or 8 categories, which also include English longbows, American flat bows, compound bows, crossbows, and the one that's very interesting is the foot bow, which I tend to avoid like the plague. I don't go near that because I've seen it shoot. And you've seen it now as well.
Yeah, it's definitely an experience seeing them shoot,
Yeah.
so yeah, well, obviously with this you'd am I right in do I remember rightly that you can enter on the day you'll be shooting about 4 ends of 6 arrows, and you can enter
Yeah.
up to four separate categories each time. Have I remembered that rightly?
Yeah, that's correct. So basically you shoot 6 arrows an end, and you can shoot up to 4 categories. So for myself, I shoot a 35-pound target bow. A 45-pound target bow. So that's basically what you would shoot at a target. And there's no adaptations to it. You basically just strip everything off it. Everything that you have to shoot the target compound has to be components that are bought over the counter. So everything that we use is stuff that you can readily buy. And then we adapt them. I would then go on, I'd shoot that. I'd then shoot the target 60-pound class. And then in the afternoon, say I would shoot a flight compound, which is it's basically a compound bow that you're allowed to do a lot more to. And that's again a 45-pound and a 60-pound class. But what I would say is that it doesn't really matter about your poundage so much when you first start, because even if you're shooting, say, under 35 pounds, say you're shooting a 25-pound recurve bow, It doesn't matter because you shoot it and you're just in a category that is below a certain level. So you might be in the under 35 pound class. But you can also then enter that same bow into the under 50 pound class because it still classes as under 50 pounds, if you understand what I mean.
Aye, that makes sense. And yeah, it's one of those where even obviously a lot of the top a lot of the top flight archers will obviously shoot tremendous distances, and we're going to get you to tell us a bit more about that later, about yours later on in the episode.
Okay.
But I suppose if you're an archer and you're thinking, right, I might not win it, I might not have much chance of winning this because I've never done much distance archery before. What would you say to people who are thinking, I've not done it before, but it looks really interesting?
I think when I first went, I thought it was brilliant because everybody's friendly. There's nobody who is not going to help you at all. Everybody wants you to have a go. And the good thing is that you actually get to shoot your own equipment as far as you can, which is something you just can't do down a club. But personally, I think the best element of flight archery is something that Janice Willrich said, and I think you were there, Nye, when she said it, and that is that you learn to shoot your bow as far as it is capable. So normally at a club, when you'd start and do just after your beginner's course, say you'd be shooting 20 metres, 20 yards, and then you go on to 30 yards. This will give you the confidence to actually shoot further because you know that your bow will actually get there. A lot of people shoot target and they daren't do the longer distances because they don't think the bow is capable. And that's the great thing about flight, is that you actually learn the capabilities of your bow and what it can do. And it gives you a lot more confidence for things like target, in the fact that, yes, you can actually shoot that distance. So it's great for that.
And there's definitely something free going on to what you said about learning just how far your bow can shoot. There is something freeing, I found, about actually taking that shot and going for it as far as seeing just what I could get out of it as well. I felt like in some ways, I hope it comes across the way I mean it when I say this, I felt like a little kid because when you're a little kid, you want to see how far you can actually. When you're learning as a little kid, you want to see, oh, how far can this go? And it's almost like you have permission to find out the answer to that question as well.
Although I shoot the compound, this year I've shot longbow, and you'll realise this now because I know that you shot longbow this year. And for the first time ever, I shot longbow at flight, and it was only my little one that I've just bought. It's not a flight bow. Ethel the longbow.
Yeah, Ethel.
And Ethel went 209 yards, which really surprised me.
Jeez, that's good going.
Yeah, but I think the thing about it was when you actually loose the arrow and watch the arrow go up, and you realise that that arrow is going up about 200 yards in the air in order to get as far as it did, it brings it into perspective that, yeah, because what we do is we actually shoot at 45 degrees because that is the optimum angle for shooting. Any higher and you'd stall your arrows so they drop short. Any lower and they don't get the full distance that they're capable of. So but everybody helps you with that. A lot of people have spirit levels or homemade devices. I know that my coach Mike Willrich has. He's got a spirit level with a T-square on the top of it that he can use, which is great fun because I usually help him to try and do it as well and hope the best. But everybody helps you, and you just have to ask, really.
And obviously, you mentioned your coach there, Mike. I don't think we can't have a flight episode without talking about Mike as well, and so just the amount of things he's done to progress flight archery over his years involved. And so, could you give us? Obviously, you can't tell us what he knows, obviously, but perhaps you could tell us sort of some of what Mike's accomplished over the years. in his shooting, and just how, because then it's sort of just realise just how, just sort of like the achievements that you can do with this type of archery.
Well, that's it. We met Mike at Crowd, and we always sit at the back when the awards ceremony's going on, as does Mike. And so we all sort of sat together and chatted, and I knew that he'd done really well in flight. So we chatted, and I started to ask him some questions about flight. But Mike's actually been shooting flight for over 40 years now. I think he's 77. I hope he doesn't mind me saying that. And he's still shooting. But he's been shooting flight for 40 years. He's been to the States 7 times to shoot in the World Championships. And what he doesn't know about archery and flight is not worth knowing. He knows he's worked through and progressed all different types of equipment to try and get them as far as possible. But he goes into the science of it. He's a former biochemist. I think that's what he is. He did a lot of chemistry, so he's very interested in science. And yeah, he's got a brain the size of a planet.
And a gentleman as well, if from my limited interaction. But
I think the thing is, it's such a family that I know that Janice, his wife, is absolutely fantastic. I love Janice. Janice and Mike actually got married in Las Vegas, and Tony Bakes, who actually organises the British flight shoot, was there being a witness for them, because they'd gone over to shoot flight over on Bonneville Salt Flats at Smiths Creek, and they got married on the way, if you will.
Oh, wow.
Janice has got probably more, I think she's got more World Championship medals than Mike has, and she still holds world records, as does Mike. But yeah, Janice has had to retire, unfortunately, because she's had a stroke, and she's still a big part of flight, and she still knows what she's doing. And tells me off.
Yeah. We all do that, Steph.
I know.
So obviously we've talked quite a lot about how competitions work, and how and different categories that you can enter. So I suppose the next question, and also hopefully we're giving people an idea of just how cool this this sport is as well, or this part of sport. And so if you're wanting to take part in flight, how would you go about doing so?
Right. Well, there's a number of ways of doing it. Certainly in northern counties, we're running flight workshops. So what they shoot is through arrows, which are big fluffy arrows that you can shoot out of your bow. So they show you how to shoot the arrows and how you loose them as well, because that's quite important to get the distance that to maximise your distance. But they'll actually let you have a go in any club environment. The arrows don't outshoot the field, so everything's pretty safe. What I would say, by the way, is please do not try flight in your back garden, and please do not put your boat 45 degrees in your back garden, because you might end up having knocked on the door by the police, because they do go quite a long way and quite a lot further than you actually think.
Even with flu arrows, it can still cover a distance out of a bow as well. So yeah, please, if you're going to try this out, please try it out in a club environment as well.
Yeah, and I know that we're doing 3 workshops, so if anybody wants to get involved with that, if they go onto the Northern Counties website, Northern Counties Archery Association website, you can contact, I think it's Ian Norwood who's running those, and we might be able to get something in your area. I know there's people from all over the country that are doing flight. And obviously Brian, who shoots the football, he's actually living in the UAE, and he comes across especially for the competitions.
Please explain to me what this football is.
Yeah, actually, we keep forgetting, Steph, that you and me know what we're talking about, but we haven't explained it to the good people listening.
Right, so Brian shoots the football, which, yeah. So basically, it's you lie on the floor, and you put your feet on the riser, and then you draw. It's a bit like a crossbow, but you actually draw the string back to a point, and I think you have bolts on it. I didn't get very close to it because I've heard it too many times, and I know what happens. So you tend to they put their legs at 45 degrees rather than the whole body at 45 degrees. So he lifts his legs up to 45 degrees and then he looses the arrow from there. But wow, it is a spectacle to see. And again, the crossbows are quite interesting as well. Having seen Ros Summers shoot a crossbow, she's one of our Clout Lady longbowers. Yeah, that worried me. I didn't think she would had that capability of shooting a crossbow. But even then, they admitted it was just a crossbow that they'd bought from a local shop, and they thought they'd have a go with it and see what happened. So you don't have to have the best equipment in the world. You can do it with anything that you've got.
I've taken part with my £28 target bow as well, and yeah, it's nice. It's just freeing to see just how far that can shoot as well. And it's a surprisingly long way. You don't realise just how far. You don't realise just how far your bows are capable of going as well, even at a lower poundage.
I know. Well, obviously it helps if there's a tailwind, which we haven't had this year, unfortunately. So yeah, a tailwind. I've never shot in a tailwind yet, and that's one of the things I'd like to do. I would love to go over to the States and shoot at Bonneville on the Salt Flats in the World Championships.
So what I'm hearing you saying is you can beat your record again if there's a tailwind.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. If I had a tailwind, they'll definitely go further. I think we went 665 meters, and I think there's more to come.
Looking forward to seeing that.
I've been looking around here for some sort of comparison, and I'm just looking at some of the hills in the Lake District here, and yeah, looking at it, 665 meters, equivalent. It's near enough the length of height of Tarn Crag in one of the Wainwrights, which comes in at 664 meters. So we're talking quite a long distance for sure.
Yeah, and you don't realise how far it is until you've shot it. And the fact that
until you have to go and get the arrow.
Go and get the arrow is the thing. We got 3/4 of an hour to find our arrows, and you don't always come back with them. It's not too bad at the lower distances, sort of where your long bows and your recurve bows go. Although I know that Tony Osborne shot a recurve bow probably nearly as far as I have, so it is possible. But you go and you've got 3/4 of an hour to find your arrows, but everybody helps each other.
And the bit of maths here, so when you shoot the national tour, you shoot in 70 meters. That's 9.5 times too short compared to what Stef shot. So shoot 70 meters, 9.5 times that distance is where Stef's arrow landed on the world record.
Yeah, and it's strange because you go looking for your arrows, and I always start off around the 500 meter mark, and sort of luckily we're on Elvington, so I take the mighty scooter of doom down the airstrip alongside Mike's bike, and then this year we were joined by 2 motorbikes as well who also went on the trip. So we came in about 500 meters, and then we went looking for the arrows. And of course, the first arrow you find, it's short, but you've got another 5 to find if you manage to shoot 5. Another 5 more, and I didn't think I'd broke the world record. I think I found 5 arrows, and I was looking for the other one, going, well, it must be around here somewhere. And Brian, who shot the football, shouted, "Stef, there's one of your arrows here." And I looked at him, and I looked at the distance, and then I looked at him again and went, "No, are you sure it's my arrow?" And he said, Yeah, it's got your name on it. And I just went, oh, I think this could be quite special.
I was going to say, I was just literally about to ask you, because obviously I know nothing. I can barely see a 20-yard target, let alone something that's that distance. I'm assuming when you let it go, it just kind of like disappears into the abyss, and you just hope to find it when you get to the other side.
Yeah, and that's part of the thing is that you've actually got to aim at something. So I don't know about you, Nye, but I was aiming at a gap between two trees at the end of the runway. And depending on the wind direction, depends where you aim. And if you know what your arrows do, so mine tend to go left, so I tend to aim slightly right. But we had 50 meters, a 50-meter strip basically that had been mown. So we had to like loose the arrow and hope that it landed in that 50 meters. And obviously, wind plays a great big part in this. The year before, I shot 6 arrows and only found 2. And we think that they actually went over the other side of the runway at Church Fenton, which was live, because we never found them again.
Oh,
So...
Yeah.
And planes landed there, and this year we actually had a little plane land as well, didn't we, Nye?
yeah,
Right
that
next
was
to
pretty
us.
cool. That I should say,
Yeah.
no harms during last year's flight shoots.
No, but if somebody brings a drone, that's in danger. It could be in great danger as well. But don't put it in front of the line.
It's whether people shoot for distance or whether the drone would look too tempting.
Yeah.
I'd be tempted by the drone, I'm afraid.
Yeah. It's like, how far can I send this drone into the abyss? Bye.
We'll send Stef up on the bike of doom. On the scooter of doom, sorry.
No, it is very eye-opening when it comes to the actual distance that these bows are capable of doing. And I say to people all the time, because obviously at the rugby club where Wigan and Orrell is, we always get quite a lot of people that try and walk animals around the back of the range. Now, obviously we have it marked out so where the overshoots are for target archery and whatnot. But you always get that one person that comes and says, it's fine, no bow's going to get that far. And I stand there and I look at him, I go, you want to bet? So now we've kind of got some perspective of how far these things can actually go. I can guarantee you we would probably clear about 6 of our field.
I'll give you
the fly bow.
I'll give you some perspective though as well, Neil. I've got mine written down in my little book because I'm sad. I always like to keep a list of all the shoots I've done. And yeah, somewhere in here is the flight results. Yeah, so for a 28-pound recurve bow, which I think we can admit isn't nothing done to set up for distance archery. That shot 265 meters, and that's off a 28-pound bow that's designed for target. Not one of these, not a proper bow like Stef shoots that's set up for flight archery for distance. Off a very lightweight target archery bow, you can get over 260 meters.
And that's the thing is when you loose an arrow and maybe you have a bit of a wobble, like I do quite often. And then what happens is that you'll miss the target, and I'm sure everybody's missed the target at some point. But depending on the angle at which you loose the arrow, depends on how far you've got to walk. And I'm sure there's quite a few people that have walked quite a long way and gone, that can't be where my arrow is. And there it is, right at the back of the field.
I've had to make that walk many a time.
Do you know what's really worrying is if we look at our field at Wigan and Orrell, it's 250 metres from where our shooting line is to the back fence where the border of somebody else's land starts. But then if you look a little bit further, there's a house that's 620 metres away.
That's in range for Stef.
And that's a bit worrying.
Yeah.
Steph would be able to get that from our shooting line. That's a bit worrying.
I don't think I'd get it down the chimney though. I don't think I'm
No.
that accurate. Might take the window out.
All I'll say is, if the people who own that house are listening to us, you are perfectly safe. We're not letting Steph come down to Wigan and Orrell.
Well, the first time I was this year, my first competition was at Penrith, and it's a British Championship, the British record status flight at Penrith. Now they only allow a ladies' compound at 45 pounds and under because you can outshoot the field. I think the field is about 750 yards long. So last year I hadn't got my equipment right, but this year I was pretty confident that I could do it. Last year it was all my fletchings were coming off because they were hitting part of my rest. So this year I thought, well, we'll test it out up at Penrith. So we loosed the arrow and then went looking for the 3/4 of an hour. And I had 2 arrows that I'd shot as Mike was looking and doing the angle for me. And the rest he said, oh, no, go on, you can do it, because I had a little spirit level on my bow. So I tried using that. So I found the 4 that were the ones with the spirit level about 500 yards. And then I was like, where on earth are the other 2? Are they on the A66? Because we shoot alongside that. I wasn't sure. There was a lot of people in the bushes near the A66. And I thought, well, I'll go to the end of the field and I'll work my way back. So off I trotted on the scooter of doom. And as I went over the brow of this very small hill right at the end of the field, I saw these 2 arrows. And I looked at them and I went, no, that can't be mine. That's not mine. And they weren't far off the long grass and a river. So I turned around and I found they were mine. I shouted Mike. Mike came over and I was going to shoot compound all day. So I just said to Mike, I daren't shoot anymore. So that was 712 yards that I shot. And I didn't want to lose all my arrows, so I decided that I wouldn't shoot anymore that day. And I'm not sure if I'm going to be allowed to shoot there anymore, because I really don't want to shoot out of the field. So
You have to stay careful. Stay careful. Go for the long bow records.
Well, Mike had a go, but he actually put his target arrows on, and he had a go with his bow. And I think his bow was about 650 yards, and that's with normal target arrows on. So you can see that even with that, yeah. So we knew that we had a chance of getting a world record, because that actually broke the world record, but because it was a British record shoot, we couldn't claim it. So I knew I had the potential of doing it, and it was just getting the right weather conditions, really.
Fortunately, even without the tailwind, we got the record as well.
Yeah, I actually beat the distance that I got at Penrith, so I was really chuffed with that. I didn't think I'd do it this year. Just in the morning of on the NCAS flight, which is Northern Counties flight, the weather was horrendous. So I went to it and I was hoping that we'd get a tailwind and blah, blah, blah. And the weather was awful. We all got absolutely soaked. It held off for the day, but we had a really strong headwind. So we were about 100 metres short of where we wanted to be, if not more. So when we went to the British Flight Championships, I didn't really know what to expect. Didn't think it was going to happen because there was a headwind. Had a chat with Mike, who he was wanting me to shoot the 60-pound class, because I've been trying to train my body to shoot 60 pounds. So it's been a work in progress. It's taken me probably about 5 months to actually be able to shoot a 60-pound bow, just training on it every day. So I was going to just shoot the 60-pound bow class first, so that by the afternoon I wouldn't be too tired and I could shoot the 45-pound. But I showed him the weather, I showed him the wind, and just said, I think I'm going to have to shoot the 45-pound class and go for that. So we did that the first time. We shot the target compound 45-pound class as the very first end, which I'm so glad of, because the wind picked up after that and everything was short.
Yeah, it got a bit blowy afterwards.
Yeah, there were some dust devils as well, if I remember rightly, going down the side of the runway.
Yeah, I remember those as well.
But yeah, so I
So,
was glad that we changed the decision.
and I suppose one thing we should also mention now is that obviously with these competition, you mentioned a couple of competitions there. Which competitive events are there for people to have a go at if they wanted to actually compete in flight archery as well?
So, if you want to learn about flight and how to get involved, we do have a British Flight Archery Facebook page, which you can go on and join. That has all the dates. We do 3 flight competitions in the year, hoping to get more, some down south and the like, but we do Penrith first, and we shoot them in August. They are going to be next year. Obviously, you want the best weather possible and the least likelihood of rain. So we shoot at Penrith, and then we move on to Elvington for the northern counties, and then we do the British Championships at Elvington the week after. Obviously, if you go onto the Archery GB website, it won't be up yet, but later on in the year, they'll actually put up the entry form. So if you're a little bit worried about doing it, don't be, because just fill the form out and say if you've got a compound bow for £45 or something like that. Just put that in, and if you're not sure about what categories to enter, I'm sure that we can help you with that. I certainly helped Nye with his.
Yeah.
You can ask on the British Flight Archery Facebook page as well, and we'll tell you. But people do change it on the day depending on what equipment they've got, because we do see some spectacles. I don't know if there was. Oh, there was. Yeah, Mike actually broke his bow, didn't he?
Yeah, I remember that happening.
Yeah, you do see some bows explode. Is the best way to put it. I've actually derailed my last compound. I derailed that twice, and that was great fun. But you will see bows die, is the best word I can put. Mainly because we're pushing the limits of them. So, whereas if you went to just shoot it as your first time, don't worry, you're not going to blow your bow up. It's going to be safe. The things that we do, which most of them are secret, I'm afraid. But you can see them if you come to a flight shoot. You will be able to see the difference. But
yeah, so I think the way I've always likened flight archery, Steph, is so clout archery in Formula One, whereas what you guys in flight are doing is like trying to break a land speed record at the highest levels.
yeah.
Yeah, again, the Bonneville salt flats. See how fast you can get your car, see how far you can get your arrows as well.
Exactly, because it's at altitude, the air's a bit thinner. And you always shoot with the tailwind because you go at the middle of the salt flats and you just turn around to wherever you're going to shoot, and they set it up with the tailwind.
That does sound that shoot just sounds like a really cool one that I'd probably want to go to as well.
Yeah, I'd have to crowdfund it because it would be an expensive trip. I really would like to go. I know that Mike would like to go as well, and it's something for the future. But obviously, I won't be able to take my little scooter with me, so we'd have to find some form of very fast motorised scooter. I can't have a normal one.
So obviously, Steph, we've talked about all the distance archery, both clout and flight here. Yeah, but I think we also need to mention a certain gentleman from the Midlands that we might know, a friend of mine, and but someone more special to you as well.
What, and his special bowstrings?
Yeah, that we can't name because of because I'm under orders under threat of a clout round the ear all from Neil.
Yeah, well, my other half, and he makes them, and I get told off constantly for I've asked him for 2 new bowstrings this year, and I don't know if I'm going to get them. But yeah, I get told off if they don't come back in good working order, which they tend not to, because they well, we put some speed knocks on, and if you don't know what they are, the knocks that are on your bow that keep your arrow on. Well, on a compound bow, we've got speed knocks, so they're there to increase the speed of the string. So ideally, they would go faster. So I had 3 sets on, so 6 knocks on. So they're basically 2 knocks with a shrink wrap shroud around them, and the idea is to go faster. But the only thing they did was just hit me in the face when they came out of off the string. So I ended up with a few a few marks from getting hit by knocks. So you can imagine how that felt. So next year we won't be doing that. We'll be changing our string development program.
I'm going to say, did it make a blind bit of difference?
I don't really know, because I shot the world record, and then on the next end I got hit by 4 sets of four knocks. So I'm not sure, to be fair. We've been told we probably don't need them on. So we're going to experiment. We're going to make a couple of strings up. But he's the master string maker. And he shot his. I can't tell you how many strands there were in his string, but I could tell you that I was a little bit worried and I did stand back. He was really pushing the boundaries, and I don't push it that far yet. But it might happen in the future if I want to get further. So there's all these little things that you can do, to your bow. But I think was helps me a lot, and we come up with ideas. And again, with Mike, we'll both come up with different theories relating to a different aspect of it and discuss it, and then try it out, because everything's an experiment in flight.
I'm going to say, archers are generally tinkerers anyway. It sounds like you guys take it to the absolute extreme of tinkering.
Yeah, I would really like a shed, or a workshop. Sorry, I'm not allowed to call things a shed. I'd like a workshop. I'd like a workshop, and I'd like a metal lathe. But my 3-meter long yard wouldn't have a workshop in it. So, yeah, that would be the ideal.
It'd be a very small one if it did.
Yeah, it wouldn't be able to fit in the equipment that I'd like to have. So I would love to tinker every day and just mess about and try different things out. But I have been warned that with the arrows, the way we've built them, we're not to shoot them at a target, because they will die. That's the arrows, and they'll probably go through the target as well. So these things are only tried out 3 times a year, because we just cannot shoot them at a target, because we'd like to have the arrows when we've shot them.
Yeah.
So I suppose, Steph, are there any sort of final comments you'd like to make about flight archery as a whole?
Everybody should have a go at it. Because you can work out what your bow can actually do and the potential it's got, which is a really important message to anybody who shoots a bow. You need to know what it's capable of. The other thing about it is that you will learn so much about your equipment, it's unreal. If you actually start to get into it and want to make your arrows and go further, when you actually get down to learning about each aspect of the arrow, whether it be the fletchings, the points, the nocks, the actual arrow shaft itself, when you actually go through that, it's brilliant, because the things that you learn in flight are also quite useful in target, because obviously the faster that your arrow travels, the straighter it will travel at target. So, it's got its benefits there. But you'll also learn how to fletch your arrows. You learn about cutting arrows and all sorts of little things, little tricks that most archers should look at trying to do themselves anyway. But I think when you get into flight, I think the proudest part of getting the world record was the fact that, other than that Woz had made my string, was the fact that I'd made the arrows myself. I'd dealt with them. And it'd taken months and months and months. And I was sat there polishing them the night before when I could have gone to the pub. And yeah, I think the proud part of it is that I made those arrows and they went and they broke a world record. Nobody else made them. I made them. And that's quite satisfying. You know, it wasn't that I just picked up a bow and shot it. It was I actually made and I designed parts of that bow to work. And it was basically down to that. And that's what my proudest part of it is.
So this is my favourite part of the show, where we get to have a look at any tournaments that we've been to recently. It can be from any kind of, literally any kind of discipline. So we have a look at anything that we've been to recently. It doesn't have to be like recent, but what the idea of this is to kind of promote local tournament organisers to try and get more people to go to their tournaments, basically. So if you've got anything, Steph, that you want to talk about, anything that you've been to recently that you would say is worth going to for somebody, like I said, it could be a flight thing, it could be a target thing. It's entirely up to you. But just pick one tournament that stands out for you.
Yeah, I think the flight championships. I think because it was Nye's first time, so he didn't have a clue what he was doing. We just told him he had to go, and yeah, it's just nice seeing different people from all walks of life just going and try to send an arrow as far as you can. It's great, and everybody wants to help you. It's really nice, and everybody's funny. And then at the end of the day, we have a raffle, and you can win a meat pie or a Frey Bentos pie. But are we allowed to mention that it's a Frey Bentos pie in the raffle?
Other pies are available.
But yeah, so it's a really friendly atmosphere. So I recommend everybody have a go at that.
I think I'm going to have to definitely have a stab at that one.
We'll give you hands before.
And following on from Steph with the national flight, I'm going to recommend the Cumbria flight as well in the first weekend of October, which is also on my calendar for 2024 as well. So hopefully, Neil, we can drag you up for both the nationals and the Cumbria one as well.
I look forward to that, definitely.
Be afraid.
Be very afraid.
Be very afraid. You're going up to deepest, darkest Kendall.
It's Penrith.
Is it Penrith?
Yeah, Penrith.
Deepest Penrith, then.
Yeah, you'll see things you've never seen before.
Me with my shirt off.
Oh, no.
Dear God.
Yeah, no one needs to say that.
Yeah, definitely not. We definitely do not need to see that. Anyway, moving swiftly on. So the final segment of the show is any upcoming tournaments that you're looking forward to. I haven't really got anything this time. I think I'm very much looking forward to the indoor championships for Lancashire. I'm hoping that I'll get asked to judge that one, which I think I think I judged it last year. It was a good shoot. So definitely looking forward to looking at that one. Nye, you got anything?
I think I'm going to actually go for exactly the same shoot as I put in my. I'm going to be boring for the exact same shoot that I put in my tournament review. And say I'm looking forward to the Cumbria flight next year to actually give that a go and see and just to have another go at flight archery. So, and hopefully Neil get to drag you up for it as well. So that's me being boring, sticking to the same as before.
Steph, you got anything you're looking forward to?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to being last at the National Indoor Target Championships on Ethel the Longbow because I'm just learning. I've been shooting it a couple of months and I've only really been hitting things at 80 yards. So I'm going to have to rein it in and try and shoot like 18 metres, which I think might be a bit difficult for me. So yeah, I'm looking forward to giving that a bash and seeing how we get on.
And as a judge, I am looking forward to your judges' football as well. For those of you that don't shoot longbow, it is your target marker. Judges like to kick them around.
Oh, yeah, I've got one of those.
You have me confused then for a minute as well, mate.
It's inside secret. It's judges call them footballs.
Yeah, mine's an luminous egg-shaped thing. The people at Bowman and Glen will have seen it when I shot the flipping 720 for the first time. The egg was on the move all the time. It's we're going to draw a face on it and everything.
Hey, Steph, shall we go down to the Lancashire Championships to see Neil?
Yeah, I might bring Ethel down. I'll bring my egg, and then Neil can belt it ahead. Yeah, I think Neil will see my marker. It's bright enough. He'll probably boot it across the thing. So yeah, I'll come down and shoot there then.
Yeah, you're stuck with us now, mate. You're stuck with us now.
Yeah, but that's hardly surprising. You always come and torture me at these things.
Got to be done.
I might even get Woz to come up from the south.
That'd be good to have Woz up as well for the day, for the shoot.
Yeah, I'll have to convince him that he needs to come to the north. He does like shooting up this way. It's because I think we're all friendly and we all know each other, and we have a bit of banter, don't we?
We do indeed.
Yeah.
And obviously the judges are lovely.
Oh yeah, they're all smashing.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
That Neil though. That Neil though, Steph, he's a bit of a character, I've heard.
Oh, yeah, I know,
gotta watch out for that one. Okie dokie, so I think that pretty much wraps up the show today. Obviously, we've learned quite a large amount of information about flight archery. I didn't realise there was that much detail in it, so thank you very much for that, Steph. Nye, thank you very much for dragging me into this one, and no doubt be dragging me up to the championships as well, which I am looking forward to. So thank you very much, guys, for tuning in, and we shall see you on the next episode.
We'll see you next time, everyone.
Bye.
Before we sign off, we want to hear from you guys, our amazing listeners. If you have any questions, stories, or insights you'd like to share, we'd love to feature your voice on our next episode. Just hit that recording button on your phone or computer and send your voice clip to us. You could be part of the conversation. Plus, we are building a vibrant archery community on our Discord server. It's the perfect place to connect with fellow archers, share your experiences, and stay updated on all things Unstrung Archery. You'll find the links to both our voice submission platform and our Discord server on our Linktree or in the episode description below. Your voice matters, and we can't wait to have you join the discussion. Until next time, keep those questions coming and stay safe in your archery journey.